तं वन्दे कृष्ण चैतन्यं रामचन्द्र पुरी भयात् लौकिकाहारत स्वयं स्वाम्यो भिक्षानं समुपोचयत्. Let me offer my respect obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who reduced his eating due to the fear of criticism of Ramchandra Puri. जय जय श्री चैतन्य करुणा सिंधु अवतार ब्रह्मा शिवादिका भजे चरण हार. All glory is to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the incarnation of the ocean of mercy. All his lotus feet are worshipped by demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. जय जय अवधूत चंद्र नित्यानंद जगत भांडीला यहाँ दिया प्रेम फांद. All glories to Nityanand Prabhu, the greatest of mendicants who bound the entire world with a knot of ascetic love for God. जय जय अद्वैत ईश्वर अवतार कृष्ण अवतारी कैला जगत निस्तार. All glories to Advaita Prabhu, the incarnation of Supreme Personality of God. He induced Krishna to descend and thus delivered the entire world. जय जय शिवासादि यत भक्तगण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु यारा प्राण धन. All goes to all the devotees headed by Shiva's Thakur. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is their life and soul. यही मते गौराचंद्र निज भक्त संगे नीलाचल क्रीड़ा करे कृष्ण प्रेम तरंगे. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Jagannath Puri, performed his various pastimes with his devotees in the waves of love for Krishna. So he did not just perform pastimes, but pastimes were performed with devotees in the waves of love for Krishna. So these are very high pastimes. So when things are performed outwardly, inside also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is relishing the rasa. Sometimes outwardly we do lot of devotion service, we tell others also, you chant, you will get this, that, and those so many things. But are we getting the nectar inside or not? That is the question. If we are not nourished inside, then outward will not last long. And here, if we see, he is reaching the waves of love of Krishna, and that is what we have come to relish. Fortunately or unfortunately, many a times devotees in Krishna consciousness do not relish any rasa. They are just doing their bhakti and just trying to force themselves that, or they are just extending themselves, and this will not run for a long time. So, like when we distribute juices to others, we also need to drink the juice so that we also remain healthy. हे ना काले रामचंद्र पुरी गोसाई आयला Paramananda Puridar Prabhu Ram. Then a sannyasi named Ramchandra Puri Gosai came to see Paramanand Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in life, things happen without much notice. So anything can happen at any point of time. So now, Ramchandra Puri Gosai is coming to see Paramanand Puri and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And further we'll see what happens because of his presence. So in our life also, we see so many devotees come in our life, and we are very happy, joyous to meet them at the first sight. But after some time, some become like our enemies, and also we are afraid of some devotees. So here also we'll see what's happening here. Paramananda Puri Kaila Charana Vandana Puri Gosai Kaila Tara Dida Lingana. Paraman Puri offered respects to at the lotus feet of Ramchandra Puri, and Ramchandra Puri strongly embraced him. So this is the way when they meet, he offered his respects at the feet of Ramchandra, and Ramchandra Puri embraced him, Paraman Puri. So because Ramchandra Puri and was a disciple of Madhava Puri, both Paraman Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered him respectful obeisances. And Srila Bhakti Thakur, Saksanta Saraswati Thakur comments that although Ramchandra Puri was naturally very envious, and although he was against the principle of Vaishnavism, in other words, against the principle of Supreme Personality Godhead as in his devotees, common people nevertheless address him as Goswami or Gosai because he was superficially in the renounced order and dressed like a sannyasi. In the modern age, the title Goswami is used by a caste of Grihasthas, but formerly it was not. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Gosai, for example, were called Goswamis because they were in the renounced order. Similarly, because Parman Puri was sannyasi, he was called Puri Goswami. By careful scrutiny, therefore, one will find that Goswami is not the title for certain caste, rather it is it is properly the title for a person in the renounced order. So here two, three things should be considered. First, renunciation should be internal, not external. So externally wearing saffron cloths and all will not work long. And we have seen so many people after wearing saffron and after some time they again come back to girl's life and so many things happen. So external renunciation should be internalized, and that is the best kind of renunciation. And next we see that even Ramchandra Puri was an offender. He was in person which people not like. Still, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and even Paramahansa offered their respects to them. So even if somebody is a Mayavad sannyasi or anybody, our thing is we should respect, give our obeisance. We should give them respectful. We should give them respect, whether we are physically doing or mentally doing. So any Vaishnava, we think that he's enemy also, or we think his friend. Whoever is actually, he deserves our respect because the supreme personality of God is sitting in his heart also. So therefore, nobody should be disrespected. At the same time, if somebody is envious or somebody we cannot gel with, we should maintain sufficient distance so that our bhakti lata is not being destroyed. So both things should be taken care of. We should not offend. At the same time, we should not, we should even defend our own bhakti lata. So both things will happen. So otherwise, we'll be in great trouble. Because if we do offense, then our bhakti is lost. And if we cannot defend our bhakti which is very, very, very fragile, still our bhakti is lost. So there's a precarious condition in which we are, and we need to balance it very nicely. And therefore, we need expert guidance from senior devotees. And next, he says, Goswami is not a title of Sankara, that is properly the title for a person who is renounced order. So one who has internally and externally both renounced can use the title Goswami, or at least he should be internally renounced, externally may or may not be. Mahaprabhu kaila tara dandavat naiti aligan karite ho kaila Krishna smriti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also offered obeisance to Ramchandra Puri, who then embraced him and thus remembered Krishna. So association with devotees means if are we remembering Krishna or not? Association does not mean sleeping together, taking prasad together, working together. No, the real association is in whose association are we able to remember Krishna. If in association we are not able to remember Krishna, that is not real association. Association means that one's devotion, one's remembrance of Krishna should be increased. If it is not increasing, that means there is no real association. And therefore, Nectar of Instruction says one should associate with devotees who does not have tendency to criticize others. And there are devotees who associate and serve them if we want to progress in our devotional life. So this is a very important thing. Otherwise, it will take long time for us to grow. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisance to Ramchandra in consideration of his being a disciple of Srila Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of his own spiritual master, Ishwar Puri. When the Vaishnava sannyasi meets another Vaishnava sannyasi, they both remember Krishna. Even Mayavadi sannyasis generally remember Narayana, who is also Krishna, by saying Om Namo Bhagavate Narayana or Namo Narayana. Thus, it is a duty of sannyasi to remember Krishna. According to Smriti Shastra, a sannyasi does not offer obeisance or blessings to anyone. It is said, sannyasi nirashi niramaskriya. A sannyasi should not offer anyone blessings or obeisances. So it doesn't offer blessings or obeisances, but Still, so this is uh, actually we should offer obeisances. Sannyasis may not, but we should. तीन जना इष्टा गोष्ठी कैला का तक्षण जगदानंद पंडित तारा कैला निमंत्रण. The three of them talked about Krishna for some time, and then Jagannath came and extended an invitation to Ramchandra Puri. So when we meet devotees, how much time we talk about Krishna, or we talk about our own problems, or this is happening in temple, or that is happening, or this devotee, what happened, that and all. So that is the test of our Krishna consciousness. So whenever we meet devotees, we should talk about Krishna more. And sometimes we can talk about material problems briefly, what we are facing or what's happening. But major part should be Krishna conscious talks. Otherwise, we'll be overwhelmed by the problems in this world and will not be able to become Krishna conscious ever in our life. Therefore, this very important thing that whenever we meet devotees, we try our best that we talk about Krishna more. And second is Jagannath came to extend invitation to Ramchandra Puri. So generally, if we see Grihasthas invite brahmacharis and sannyasis. So two things should be looked after while giving invitation and while receiving invitations. First is the Grihasthas should maintain proper standards of their worship and japa and all. So Grihasthas should not invite anybody if they are not able to complete the 16 rounds in the morning and they are not able to actually do their own bhajan kriya. Otherwise, inviting will become a burden. Like sometimes back, in one temple, what happened is one grasa invited a brahmachari. And second, now it became a competition. And everybody started inviting. And the president then stopped the whole thing because it was becoming unnecessary burden for others. Because some grahasthas were not equipped with so much Lakshmi and so much time and everything. And it was like becoming a force for them that we should also invite. Like this, so many devotees have deities in their home. So we should not actually uh, ask devotees to bring deities, or even we should not encourage devotees to bring deities in their home. Because after some times now, deity worship becomes a big burden. Like we have seen in so many homes, even some big councillors also. After some time now, they become old. The children, they go to foreign places or they are married and they are in different places because job is anywhere now. Job, you cannot get that job now that you will get job near the temple or something. Now that things are not there. So because of that, now the devotees have become old. And because of that, what happens is the you cannot maintain the deity standards of worship and all. So that should not be encouraged much. If somebody can do it and can maintain that standards or can foresee that 300, 400 years also they will be able to do. It's not just a job of 5, 10 years. And therefore we see even Goswami's temple, like Radha Damodar temple and all, there are so many deities. Why it happened? There were individual deities for these temples, but after some time, the family could not manage the worship, and then they all brought the deities together. So therefore, the deities should not be invited, and even this. And whoever brahmachari or sannyasi go to somebody's house for taking prasadam and all, they should also see that the proper standards are maintained. If the grahasthas are not doing their sadhana properly, then what will happen is the brahmachari sannyasis go, their also stand will be disturbed, their also mind will disturb. And whenever somebody should call, they should have money by pure means. That is also one important thing. If money is not earned by pure means and you distribute or give donation, then it has a bad effect on others who take donation and everything also. So these all things need to be considered while inviting or while going to a place. Similarly, if grihasthas are also going to different places, like somebody calls them, they should first check the devotional standards of person. Because many times we have seen that somebody tells that they are chanting 16 rounds all, but they are not chanting even 4, 5 rounds. So nobody should endanger their own devotional life. by going here and there. And the more rounds one chants, it is better to go that place. Actually, the one who is chanting 32 rounds, 64 rounds, actually they should cook so that more and more people become devotees. But generally, we don't get such devotees only. And in every temple, the two departments which has major problems is this cooking department, the kitchen department, and the deity worship department. These two departments don't get volunteers much easily because the standards required in these departments are very high, and you generally don't get devotees here. So this is also important thing, and therefore we should be very cautious from whose hands are we eating food. Generally, who are staying in temple does not have much say because whatever comes from kitchen they take. But generally, if possible, we should check. Otherwise, in few days it will lose. So even in temples, the brahmacharis cook for the brahmacharis. If brahmacharis don't cook for the brahmachari ashram will be empty very soon. Because it cannot be maintained. Because from anna, so many karma and everything passes. So this is a very important thing which should be noted. So if we eat malina prasad and everything, then the bhajan will be stopped. And therefore, first there was a concept of swapaki, that one will prepare their own food. And we see in the past time where one Brahmana came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house, in my house, and we see that Maharaj say, hi, 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 that you heard that past time. The three time is one time cooking. The people will give food and they will make their own food. That was the standard actually. And that is safe. Others are all difficult and we have to pay either our bhakti. If we want to save time, then we have to pay by our bhakti. And this is what happens. Jagannath tera prasada lila bhikshara lagiya yathasta bhiksha karilate ho nindrara lagiya. A large quantity of remnants of food from Lord Jagannath was brought in for distribution. Ramchandrapuri ate sumptuously and then he wanted to find faults in Jagdananda Pandit. So large amount was bought and Ramchandrapuri first ate sumptuously. But he has this fault-finding mentality. So Nectar of Instruction 5 verse says, how do you know a person is advanced? Not that he is chanting 64 rounds, not does he doing so many verses. It is said that who does not have propensity to criticize others. So that what decides that one is advanced or not. So one may even chant 64 rounds, but still he may be criticizing other devotees. So that is not the standard. So the standard is if one chanting more round, good. But along with that, one person need not even have to have good qualities. And the first thing is not to criticize any devotee. One may be critical to improve the things or improve himself or temple, but one should not be criticizing others. So one may find some problems or faults so that one can improve upon that. In the future, we cannot make these mistakes. Otherwise, very difficult for a person to live. Bhiksha kari kahe puri suna chakdananda avasesha prasad tumi karaha bhakshana. After finishing the meal, Ramchandra requested, my dear Jagdananda, please listen. You eat the food that is left. So this is what Ramchandra Puri is requesting Jagdananda Pandit. Please eat, please eat. We also do to devotees, please eat, please eat. Agraha kariya tare vashi khawai apana agraha kari pariveshana kaila. With great eagerness, Ramchandra Puri seated Jagdan Pandit and personally served in prasadam. So very good Vaishnava etiquette and very good Vaishnava behavior Ramchandra Puri is showing to Jagdan Pandit. And he personally served him and gave prasadam. Agraha kariya puna puna khawoi yela achmana kaila ninda karite lagila. Encouraging him again and again, Ramchandra Puri fed him sumptuously. But when Jagdananda had washed his hands and mouth, Ramchandra Puri began criticizing him. So first part he did good Vaishnava service, but then he did all the criticism. Similarly, when we do japa, when we do Vaishnava service, we do lot of good things. We do lot of Vaishnava service, and then we start criticizing, and all our good service goes to hell. So, if you have ever taken loan, somebody is like paying EMI. So this example is like you are paying 1 lakh, but there are no savings. You are earning 1 lakh, but there are no savings. You are earning 2 lakh, but there are no savings. So what is happening? You are paying your EMI. Your EMI is so high that no savings is left. So you are paying like EMI like 80,000 or 1,50,000. So there are no much money left. So other money is gone for expenses. Similarly, when we blaspheme the devotees, what happens is we are chanting 60 rounds daily. But most of the credit for chanting extra rounds or chanting our 16 rounds, it is going to counteract the Vaishnava offenses. And in this way, 15 years gone, 20 years gone, and one does not progresses. There are only two aparadhas one need to worry. Nam aparad and Vaishnava aparad. So for anything, if something we are not relishing devotional service, we are not able to do good japa, we are not able to get, then there is either problem with Vaishnava seva or Vaishnava aparad, or there is problem with Nam aparad. If you see all the 10 offenses, so most of the offenses are like 2 offenses only. Like offending Guru comes in Vaishnava aparad. Then committing sins on the strength of holy name comes in holy name aparad. So then first offense also offending the devotees who have given their life for the propagating the holy name of the Lord. That is also Vaishnava aparad only. So in 2 of these offenses only most of the things come. Then Guru avagya, Guru also not following the instruction of Guru. Vaishnava aparad only. Then all others also, if we see not having faith in the holy name, again holy name aparad. Then again last offense is not being inattentive to chanting of the holy name. Again offense to the holy name. So all these offenses now, if we just make this basic, like we should not do Vaishnava offense and not do Nam offense, then most of the things are being taken care. Otherwise our life or our devotion is ruined. Suni Chaitanya Gana Kara Bahuta Bhakshana Satyai Vakya Sakshat Dekhula Ekana. I have heard, he said, that the followers Chaitanya Prabhu eat more than necessary. Now I have directly seen that this is true. So there are 2 kinds of devotees. One is like this fly, and one is like the honeybee. Honeybee is always searching for where is nectar, and the fly is always searching for where is wound. So we should not be like this fly who is searching for wound. There is a problem. Let me aggravate this. No. Honeybee gets nectar from anybody, anywhere, and that is our job. Every person will have faults also and will have some good qualities also. It is on us of what we magnify. If we magnify good qualities, that good qualities will come to us. If we magnify the bad qualities of the person, the bad qualities will come. So whatever we appreciate in other person will gradually come to us. Therefore, we should be very careful of what we are saying and how we are saying. Sannyasi rahete khawayana kare dharmanash vairagya hayayete khaya vairagya nahi bhasa. Feeding a sannyasi too much breaks his regulative principles. For one, a sannyasi eats too much, his renunciation is destroyed. So, if feeding a sannyasi too much breaks his regulative principles. So, if anybody eats too much, he cannot remain a renunciate or a bhakta. A devotee who eats too much prasadam, will not be able to maintain his devotional service. And therefore Gita says, Yukta ahara vihasya, balanced. Ahara should be balanced. If we eat lot of Mahaprasadam, we will not be able to do devotional service. Initially is okay, but within some time we should be equibalanced. Because following regular principles require this very much. And Prabhupada also written at many places that when we eat much, our senses become very active. And when senses are very active and they are very, they put us in the danger actually. If they are very aggressive, the senses will put us in danger. And therefore we should try that we are balanced. And even eating too less is also very difficult. Then we will be not able to perform devotional service. So in devotional service, everything needs to be balanced. Then only we can perform devotional service. Sometimes devotees say that हमको आगे का सुख चाहिए, परम सुख चाहिए. We want the happiness in the future. And for that, we don't want happiness now. Actually, that is not true. We need happiness now also, and we need happiness in the future. If you don't need happiness now, why are you using AC? Why are you using fan? Go to the jungle and stay, and then go back to God from there. But we cannot do. We need some comforts now also. We need happiness now also, and also we need some happiness in the future. So we need both. So therefore, that should be balanced. एक स्वभाव तारा आग्रह करिया पीछे निंदा करे आगे बहुत खायो या ना. The characteristic of Ramchandra Puri was for that first he would induce someone to eat more than necessary, and then he would criticize him. So very bad character he had, that he would induce first somebody to eat and then criticize him. So sometimes the devotees also do this way. He tells the other person to do something, and then after some time, in front of third person, he criticize second person that he is doing like this. So that is not appreciated in devotee circle. In devotee circle, if we criticize any other person, then what the devotee think that today this person criticized the third person, tomorrow he will criticize me. So the faith is destroyed. In the long run, nobody will have faith on us if we are criticizing other devotees. See, for sometimes in management, it is necessary that to talk about this, but they also do very not regularly, sometimes for some services. But anybody, even in the management, even on the highest platform, if criticize somebody, he has to pay by the money of devotional service. So we should be very careful. If somebody is on the high position, he is high on the leadership position, his chances of going down are very fast. He has to be extra careful. And therefore, we should give up our Christianity if we have, or we should try to glorify other devotees as far as we can. So that is how it is done. Purveya be madvendera karena antardhana Ramachandra Puri tabe aila tarasthana. Formerly, when Madhava Puri was at the last day of life, Ramchandra Puri came to where he was staying. So Ramchandra Puri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and therefore he came to see his spiritual master at the last end of life. Puri Gosaya Kare Krishna Nama Sanketana Mathurana Payu Bali Karena Krandhana. Madhavendra Puri was chanting the holy name of Krishna and sometimes would cry, "Oh my Lord, I did not get shelter at Mathura. Oh my Lord, I did not get shelter at Mathura." रामचंद्र पुरी तबे उपदेश तारा शिष्य हैया guru ke kahe bhaya nahi kare. And Ramchandra Puri was so foolish that he really dared to instruct his spiritual master. So one may give suggestions, even if we see Prabhupada case, Tamal Krishna Maharaj always used to give suggestions. Suggestions are okay, but it should not be in a tone of instruction that you do like this. One can say, "Oh, can we consider this option also? Is it possible that look after this way also?" That is okay. But one should not ever instruct the spiritual master. Otherwise, his spiritual life will be spoiled. So therefore, one has to be very careful. See, Vaishnava etiquette and Vaishnava principles, if we cannot follow, we are endangering our spiritual life. Tumi purna brahmananda karaha smarana brahma vit hayya kena karaha rodana. If you are in full transcendental bliss, he said, you should now remember only Brahman. Why are you crying? So this crying of Madhava Puri was a spiritual bliss which Ramchandra Puri could not understand, and therefore he's saying that, why are you crying? You remember now Brahman. So he's giving that you become like Mayavad, you know. I said in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma, a Brahman realized person is always happy, na sushi na kangshi. He neither laments or aspires with anything. Not knowing why Madhava Puri was crying, Ramchandra Puri tried to become his advisor. Thus, he committed a great offense. For a disciple should never try to instruct his spiritual master. Very dangerous offense. Suni Madhvendra Mana Krodha Upajila Dura Dura Papishta Bali Bhatsana Karila. Hearing this instruction, Madhava Puri, greatly angry, rebuked him by saying, get out, you sinful rascal, get out. So now, here, what happened is, Ramchandra Puri did offense to his spiritual master Madhava Puri. So whenever we do one offense now in our life, that actually gives us the problem of offense, but it also gives us seed of the next offense. If we see in the case of Daksha, Daksha offended Shivji, and then it was a series where he offended even Narad Muni. So when we offend a devotee, then what happens is we get the impressions, and then the offenses to so many devotees start. And that is our fall down or destruction starts. So here he is just offending Madhava Puri, but with this now he will start offending others also. So it's like devotional service. It is like it can get to anybody who is having great devotion, can give it to others. Like this offenses also. If one offends one, then he will offend so many others also. So one need to be very, very careful. Ramchandra Puri could not understand that spiritual master Madhava Puri was feeling transcendent separation. His lamentation was not material, rather it proceeded from the highest stage of aesthetic love of Krishna. When he was crying in separation, I could not achieve Krishna, I could not reach Mathura. This was not ordinary material lamentation. Ramchandra Puri was not sufficiently expert to understand the feelings of Madhavendra Puri, but nevertheless, he thought himself very advanced. Therefore, regarding Madhavendra Puri's expression as ordinary material lamentation, he advised him to remember Brahman because he was latently and impersonalist. Madhavendra Puri understood Ramchandra Puri's position as a great fool, and therefore he immediately rebuked him. Such a remand from Srichmasa is certainly for the betterment of this disciple. So now, one problem is he has become a Mayavad. Second problem is why Madhavendra Puri told him to go, Madhavendra Puri told Ramchandra to go is because if Ramchandra Puri is there more, he will offend his Guru more. And this way, his spiritual life will be more destroyed. And therefore, out of compassion for Ramchandra Puri, what Madhavendra Puri told him to go from that place. Sometimes when we are rebuked, when something is told to us, it is not that always there is some punishment given to us. Sometimes it may be done for our betterment that this time or this place is not good for us, so let us go out. So that is what here it is. So it should never be taken that Madhavendra Puri wanted to remove him out or no. He will anyways, because of his own offense, Ramchandra Puri will anyway, his devotional life will be disturbed. And secondly, he is now literally becoming impersonalist. So I think he must have a very bad association also. And therefore this has happened. Krishna na painu mathura apana dukhe maru edita aida jwala. Oh my Lord Krishna, I could not reach you, nor I could reach your abode, Mathura. I am dying in my unhappiness. And now this rascal has come to give me more pain. So the understanding of rasa not many have, and what type of spiritual ecstasy was Madhavendra Puri was going on. Ramchandra Puri Khan did not knew, and therefore here Madhavendra Puri Prabhu is criticizing his disciple Ramchandra Puri. मोरा मुख ना देखा देखिबो तुई याओ यथी तथी तोरा देखी मैला मोरा हबे असद गति. Don't show your face to me. Go anywhere else you like. If I die seeing your face, I shall not achieve the destination of my life. Worst thing can happen. If the devotees leave our association, we are in great trouble actually. And therefore, we should not do anything where the devotee says, go out of my sight. Or spiritual master says that go out. We should always try to be in association of devotees. If we are not happy with one set of devotees, we have ample opportunities to go to another set. Suppose somebody has some problem in seawoods, he can go to Belapur. If he has some problem in Belapur, he can go to Nehru. There are so many options available, but one should have some good association somewhere. Otherwise, very difficult. Because now when we are strong, we are doing our service, we are doing japa, that's good. But sometimes we also will come down. Sometimes our japa will not be good. That time the devotees can only help. So therefore, this should not happen that they say, don't show me or face me. No. Krishna na payune mui maru apnara dukha mora brahma upadesha ye chara murkha. Chara murkha. I am dying without seeing the shelter of Krishna, and therefore I am greatly unhappy. Now this condemned foolish Shastra has come to instruct me about Brahman. So actually we don't like to be one with Krishna, and we don't like Brahman. We always want to be servants of Krishna. Therefore, this is a very wrong instruction which was given by Ramchandra Puri. Ye si Madhvendra Shripada Upeksha Karila Sei Aparade Yahara Vasana Janmila. See this very important point. Ramchandra Puri was thus renowned by Madhava Puri. Due to this offense, gradually material desires appeared within him. So, if material desires are coming in our heart, the whole reason is Vaishnava Aparadha. And therefore, Vaishnava Aparadha is so deadly. And therefore, we see some devotees after 20-25 years also, their old habits come back. Something they are doing in the past, some songs they were hearing, some movies they were seeing, or something here and there, it comes back. So the whole reason for that is Vaishnava Aparadha. And therefore, if some material desires are coming, if our japa is not good, then we should look for these two things. Either we are doing Nam Aparadha or Vaishnava Aparadha. And we need to rid ourselves of both these aparadhas. So if there is Vaishnava, we will think, what Vaishnava I offended, which Vaishnava I offended. See, in the case of Dhruv Maharaj, if you see, Shruji offended him when he was not even a devotee. But after Dhruv Maharaj became a devotee, then what did happen? Vishnu said that because your stepmother or whatever you say had offended you, she will go to die, she will be dead, and her son will also be dead. So see the grave thing of Vaishnava offense. Suppose if we offend somebody, and we need to make sure that before he reaches destination, we become mature in our devotion. Because if his devotion increases, then whatever we did previously then will come back as offense to us, and our devotion will reduce. Therefore, our devotional standards should be very high. And second, we never criticize anybody. Maybe a Mayavadi, maybe a normal person, maybe devotee. Because we don't know, after some time that person becomes a bigger devotee than us, then we'll be in jeopardy. The first thing is be safe. Never offend anybody. Never ever offend anybody. If we don't like, we can say, Prabhuji, we cannot be together. Sorry, I cannot match your expression. Please forgive me. And we can leave. Not that, Are, kaise ho tum? Kya karte ho? So, bhag yahan se. No, instead we should ask that, I cannot gel with you. I am sorry. Please let me go. So that is how we can be safe. Otherwise, very difficult to know who is advanced, who is not. After some time, we'll come to know, because we are not with anybody for a long time to see, and therefore better be careful than be sorry. Otherwise, second is look for the symptoms. If we are having any material desires, that means something has happened in the background. The word masna, material desires, refer to dry speculative knowledge. Such speculative knowledge is only material, as confirmed Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.4. A person without devotional service who simply wants to know things as Kevala Bodha Labdhaye gains only dry speculative knowledge, but no spiritual profit. This confirmed in Bhakti Samrita Sindhu when stated, Jivan Mukta api punar yanti samsara vasanam यदि अचिंत्य महा सक्तौ भगवती अपराध हिना. Even though one is liberated in this life, if one offends the Supreme Personality of God, he falls down the midst of material desires, of which the highest expression about spiritual realization is one. So even if one is liberated, if one offends Supreme Personality of God, then he will fall down in midst of material desires. And that also, the highest expression about spiritual realization is one. So we'll speak about what spiritual is and how it is and all things. In Laghu Toshni commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 10 to 32, Jiva Goswami says, जीवन मुक्तापि पुनर्बंधवम यान्ति कर्मभिर यदि अचिंत्य महासुक्तो भगवती अपराधिना. Even if one is liberated in this life, he becomes addicted to material desires if because of offenses with Supreme Personality of God. So this is a thing. So liberated means what? This is a very high stage, but still he will get material desires if he offends Supreme Personality of God. And what to speak of his devotees and all. A similar quotation from one of the Puranas also appears in the Vaishnu Bhakti Chandrodaya. जीवन मुक्त प्रपद्यन्ते क्वचित संसार वासनम योगिनो न विलप्यन्ते कर्मभिर भगवत परा. Even liberated souls sometimes fall down to material desires, but those who are fully engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not affected by such desires. So, fully engaged, then one is not affected. So, even liberated souls can, but devotees may come out if they are fully engaged in devotional service. These are references from authoritative scriptures. If one becomes an offender to his spiritual master or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he falls down to the material platform to merely speculate. So offense either to Supreme Personality of God or to spiritual master. But spiritual master is a Vaishnava. Therefore, this is like Vaishnava Aparadha. And Vaishnava Aparadha is called Hati Mata Aparadha. An elephant, if he becomes mad, he can destroy the whole garden. Like some days back, in one of the Rath Yatra in Ahmedabad, the elephant became mad and the whole people were very, very scared. So you can see the mad elephant. He can destroy so many things. Suksha Brahma Gyani Tahi Krishna Rasambandha Sarvaloka Ninda Kare Nindata Nirbandha. One who is attached to dry speculative knowledge has no relation with Krishna. His occupation is criticizing Vaishnavas, thus he is situated in criticism. So, dry speculative knowledge, that is jnani or impersonation which they do. So, if one becomes like this, then one's relation with Krishna is lost. Brahma Jnani. Now, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur has explained in his Anubhashya that the word Nirbandha indicates that Ramchandra Puri had a steady desire to please others. Impersonal Mayavadis who have no relation with Krishna, who cannot take to devotional service and who simply engage in material arguments to understand Brahman, regard devotional service as to Krishna as karma, kand or fruitive activities. According to them, devotional service to Krishna is but another means for attaining dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Therefore, they criticize the devotees for engaging in material activities. They think that devotional service is Maya and that Krishna or Vishnu is also Maya. Therefore, they are called Maya Vadi. Such a mentality awakens in the person who is an offender to Krishna and his devotees. See again, why this mentality has come? Because he is an offender to Krishna and his devotees. So such is the bad effect of offense that one can become a Mayavadi from a devotee and even fall down from a devotional service. So offenses are very, very deadly and one should be very careful not to make offenses. I think we'll take this verse also. Ishvara puri gosai kare Sripada sevana swastha kare namala mutradi marjana. So Ishwar Puri, the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, performed service to Madhava Puri, cleaning up his stool and urine with his own hand. So see, Ramchandra Puri is giving advice, whereas Ishwar Puri is doing service, and we'll know that definitely Ishwar Puri will get great mercy because he is serving the spiritual master. So service to Vaishnavas, service to our seniors or authorities can help us to greatly advance in our spiritual life. This is a private key. If one can please higher authorities or superiors, then one can advance in spiritual life very fast. Otherwise, it will take much more time. Nirantara Krishna Nama Karaya Smarana Krishna Nama Krishna Lila Sunaya Nukshana. Ishwarpuri was always chanting the holy name and pastime of the Lord Krishna for Madhavapuri to hear. In this way, he helped Madhavapuri remember the holy name and pastimes of Lord Krishna at the time of death. So this is what we need to do. Always chant the holy name and pastimes of Krishna for devotees to hear, and this way help devotees remember holy name pastime. And then we will also able to remember the holy name pastime. So this is the easiest way to do. तुष्टा पूरी तारा कैलानी गण वर दिला कृष्ण तुम्हारा हौ का प्रेम धन. Pleased with Ishvara Puri, Madhavapuri embraced him and gave him the benediction that he would be a great devotee and lover of Krishna. So this is what, if a devotee is pleased, then this is what the blessings we get. So the key to progress in devotional service lies with the devotees. And therefore, if we can please devotees, then we can progress in a devotional service. If we cannot please devotees, then at least we should not displease them. Maintain sufficient distance, otherwise our spiritual life will be spoiled. Se haita Ishwara Puri Premera Sagara Ramachandra Puri Hega Sarvanindakara. The Ishwara Puri, thus Ishwara Puri became like an ocean of mystic love of Krishna, whereas Ramachandra became a dry spectator and a critic of everyone else. So this is the difference between what an benediction can do and what an offense can do. Same person, Madhavendra Puri, and he has two disciples, Ramchandra Puri and Ishwar Puri. But Ishwar Puri gets the benediction that he'll become a great devotee, and Ramchandra Puri is given as a curse, or he's become a great criticizer. So Guru Maharaj or spiritual master, senior Vaishnavas can help the devotee either to progress, or if they are unhappy, then the devotee can even degrade in the devotional service. So it's like two-edged sword. Sword can help you to do something. At the same time, if you do not handle it well, it can even cut your own body. Mahadanugraha nigraha sakshi dui jana ye dui dwara sikhaida jaga jana. Ishwar Puri said the blessings of Madhavendra Puri, and whereas Ramchandra Puri received a rebuke from him. Therefore, these two persons, Ishwar Puri and Ramchandra Puri, are examples of the objects of great personality benediction and punishment. Madhavendra Puri instructed the entire world by presenting these two examples. So, are we the objects of great personality benediction or punishment? We have to very carefully see in our life, and in this way, we should progress. So, thank you very much.